Hi Aries, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for Sun, Moon, or Rising Aries for the period of July through December 2021 in love. I'm doing this on behalf of the new moon in Cancer that's happening on July 9th and 10th, at which time I'm actually reading on the new moon for you. The reason this all happened, that there's a delay to get this video to you, is that there's some things that changed in the back end, and so I wasn't able to put out your reading, but I hope you got your messages through the all sign reading I put out earlier today. I'm going to go over your tarot and then take you through the astrology, and then I will take you through the tarot again at the end of the video. So we'll do an intro with tarot, and then we'll look a little bit deeper with the astrology. I hope you guys are doing well, and I think it's going to be a very nice transit of expansion for you. So whatever's going on for you in love, things are getting better, and expect more people to be in your life through this time. Okay, so your first message is the Four of Pentacles. So whether it's you or someone else, but somebody has been restrictive. So, you know, when you have a friend or someone in your life who you ask to go somewhere and they're very there's a lot of no's. So maybe they're fine and they like you, but they have so many stipulations and very, very picky energy. And this is a way that people sometimes control relationships, by being not okay with how things are, or being very specific about what's okay and having a lot of no-go zones, that kind of thing. So I feel like that's the energy right now. Nine of Pentacles and King of Swords. I'll lay down two more cards and then we can begin. And then Eight of Cups, Saturn in Pisces. Nine of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. And then let's see, our last card for this row, the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. Okay, Aries, let's take a look. What I see for you is, for some of you, this is not a message for everyone, but I feel as though some of you are going to see the behavior for what it's worth. And this is you as the King of Swords, decisive and deliberate and making decisions, just like it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I think you see your personal intrinsic value. And so I think that if someone around you is not willing to just give normal compromises in situations, you're willing to walk away from them and even be alone. It feels as though it could potentially be a part of a bigger friend circle. So you walk away from people that are putting undue expectations on you, and you are facing, if you walk away from one friend, you may have to walk away from the lot of them, and you don't mind doing that. You're walking away with wisdom. Whatever your situation you're in, Aries, what this is saying is that you're supposed to stand up for yourself. You're supposed to defend yourself. Your value is greater than the situation you're in. If you're feeling apprehensive towards your circumstances, then you need to be very wary and non-compromising on that front. I saw this on the bottom. I honor the bottom card if I happen to see it, because I guess it wants to be seen, which is the Leo card, the Strength card. So it's pointing us in the direction of the conjunction between Venus and Mars that's happening on the 13th of July, and will set off a transit that will end on March 22nd in Aquarius. And so Venus and Mars have this funny sort of system that they orbit around the sun in, and they have not been together in the same position for 2 years, but yet in 6 months they're going to have two more conjunctions. It has a lot to do with retrograde cycles and that sort of thing, but they sort of oscillate in this, when one chases the other and then one catches up. Venus is usually much faster, but not always, as we'll see in October. What this all means for you, this back and forth between Mars and Venus, is that you are really needing to establish ground rules in whatever situations you are in love, whether it's relationships or whether you're single. I think putting your foot down, this transit begins in the 5th house of romance, putting your foot down on people not giving you fair due, especially emotionally, and it will turn around for the better. I think you already know that though, because you have this Hermit card. So the Hermit card is saying, like, you sort of know that, you know, you need to do that. The writing's on the wall. And I think you value yourself. You value your position in things. You value your security. You're not going to risk things. And I feel like if you're dealing with a man, then I think that they're going to have an unexpected disappointment completely by their own doing, completely by their own negligence. That doesn't mean the relationship is over. I just think that you're going to put your foot down very firmly. And I think you are kind of taking control in the situation. You're not going to teeter-totter, flip around, you know. You're owning what you want and you're demanding what you want, which is good. So Venus and Mars transit is a huge part of this, the core, but there's 3 other transits that complement this love beginning cycle in July. There's the North Node with Aldebaran. It's a fixed star. I talked about it a lot in my collective astrology series. And the North Node is with it and will be direct conjunct Aldebaran on July 15th. If you're watching after, don't worry about missing these transits. All of them will have happened by the time you watch them. But just look back to those dates if you are interested. I guess some of you will get a chance to see this before the 15th of July, at which case get ready, because clarity about what you need and what you want. For you, a lot of this will be referring to your childhood. How was your childhood, and how do you want to change it? What do you want from it and about it? Maybe you had a dog, for example, when you were a kid. And so and maybe you've denied yourself a dog all this time, and now you sit there and you're like, you know what? I really need a dog to have a fulfilling life. North Node with Aldebaran will give you clarity on exactly what you want. And in relationships, I think that what kind of relationships, I know kids have different ideas or dreams, but there is some kind of continuity between what people want as children and as adults in relationships. And the North Node with Aldebaran, it's like, I wanted to really have a family and kids, right? Or you can say, I wanted a partner with whom I could travel. So, you know, look back on your childhood, look at your parents' relationship, and see if there's some kind of a pattern that you are bringing in. It could give you a lot of enlightenment what kind of relationships you want. If you're in a relationship, it could troubleshoot what's good about it and what needs to go. And then if you're single, then you'll have an idea of where to look, you know, and so forth. The other transit is the Sun with Sirius, another fixed star. And that happened on the 5th through the 9th of July through today. And so Sirius, this is all in your 4th house. So I think that, you know, your standards are high because you're comparing what's going on in your love life right now with that what happened in other circumstances that were good to you. You know, when were you happy in family and in love, and how does this compare? What about it is good? What about it reminds you of your mother? What about it reminds you of your father? What about it makes you feel comfortable? What makes you feel at home? Okay, so Sirius, again, look back on the week of the 5th through the 9th. Did you have prevailing thoughts? Maybe if you don't remember, look through your emails, see what you were saying, you know, and so forth. And then we have the new moon in Cancer right now. Happy new moon. Again, kind of reconnecting with what you want in the home, okay? So those are the transits that support the Venus and Mars. They're not necessarily directly related to each other. but they're all happening at the same time, and they're all cyclical things. So, and they're all complementary to love. The North Node is not necessarily a love transit on its own, but it gives you clarity of vision. And with that clarity, you kind of focus on your relationships and what you want, and gives you inspiration. I went into great detail on the astrology in the video down below. It's like the one where I think I'm holding something and there's like a fluorite crystal ball to the side, so it's purple. So go watch that video. It's in the Abundant Love playlist. So also, if you're waiting for your video, if you're wondering why it came out late, I'm filming this ASAP, but it has to get cleared for something. So I have to wait 1 or 2 days before I can post it for everyone. So sorry about that, but we'll have more soon. Okay, so here, let's do the tarot. We have the Ace of Swords. I feel as though there will be communications that are happening between people to evoke out of them an answer. Evoke out of them, like, what do you want? What is your compromise? I think that maybe somebody is trying to get you to talk about something, and I'm not sure if you're perfectly open to listening and talking about it. I feel as though maybe the reason you're not so open to talking about it is because you see there's a futility there. There's no point in having a conversation about it if that person won't listen. You know, when someone wants to talk but they only want to talk, they don't want to see your point of view of the situation. 9 of Swords, Mars in Gemini. I have a feeling that you or someone has been incredibly aggressive when someone has appealed to talk to them. Your response or their response has been harsh and intense. Be careful with this energy once Lilith enters into Gemini on the 17th. Because if you have a more, listen, and I'm not judging because I'm a Leo, North Node, Leo, Virgo, Sun, Scorpio, Rising, Aquarian, Moon. I can hold my own in terms of being assertive. But it's transits like Lilith in Gemini that can take people who have this Yang type of energy, assertiveness, and really create problems for us. So the soft-spoken people do better with a transit like that. And so you want to, if you have an extreme way of handling things, if you're intense, then this is saying be careful like who you say what to and how. You might get even upset, even justifiably so, but this is a time to be very careful, and you have a predisposition here over the next 6 months to get, I'll say it, a little bit aggressive with the tongue, a little bit of, and especially I could see people reaching out to you, trying to provoke communication, trying to get you to talk. And the more they try to get you to talk, the more you get no, you get in your no, and intensely so. So be wary of that energy. You don't want to make, you don't want to bring on bad attention to yourself. Okay, so 7 of Wands, you have very good financial standing at this time. In fact, your financial life really shines through the transit of the next 6 months. I feel as though it shines so bright that in some ways you have to stand away from people, because once you get close to people, you may notice that that triggers things for people. I hate to say that everybody's jealous, because that's a difficult conversation. But it could be like triggering, for lack of a better word. When people are struggling and you're thriving, you have to be courteous, because for them they're still in the struggle, right? And somehow you've beat it. And so courtesy, you have your foundation established and met, and so you need to in some way be kind and caring towards the people who are around you. And yes, if you were brazen and if you were just, showing it off and cocky about it, then I think that what would happen is some of those people you would trigger and they may lash out. So it's a very bad idea. It's a very good idea for you to be humble and quiet, and especially if you're like maybe dating someone. So if you're dating a man or a woman and then you're like telling them about yourself. Maybe be a bit careful about talking about your successes. It's funny because we're supposed to show each other our strengths of character and whatnot when we're dating them, but at the same time, all women know this. We have to be careful to not kind of show ourselves as like in the full strength that we are, because many men get triggered in heterosexual interactions. Sorry to put it out there, but it's true. The male ego is and women's egos are terrible as well, but I mean, women know this. So I feel like you have a strong position, and don't dumb yourself down for others, but also at the same time be wary of your circumstances and be wary of the psychology of other people. Then we have the Six of Pentacles, Moon in Taurus. If you're with a partner, they may learn a hard lesson about not showing you love in a fair and equitable manner. You may very well put your foot down and even ice them out, block them, whatever. I think that if you're in that situation, your partner is going to go through a dark night of the soul for a moment and come back around in a much more generous state. I'm not encouraging you to block someone or play that game unless it's authentically happening. So don't create this scenario to teach your boyfriend or girlfriend a lesson. But if you find that you're trying to get through to them, your partner, your spouse, your love interest, and they're shortchanging you emotionally especially, and then it follows that they sort of fall into the consequences of that, meaning you're not so emotionally open to them after you've tried and they sort of weren't grateful for it. You may see that person really have a turnaround and come back and be much more generous. And especially on the physical level, they may want to show you things, buy you presents and stuff. So it might be a learning curve. Be patient. The next message is the Knight of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Very lucky for you, Aries, over the next 6 months. Somebody coming in. It could be an air sign. This is telling me that some of you are meant to be alone at this time so that an air sign can come into your life. With this North Node with Aldebaran, that forms really beautiful aspects to people who have 3 degrees of Aries to about 13 degrees of Aries position, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if you really want a relationship and if you set your intentions right, you could be seeing an air sign person coming into your life. Now, they don't have to be an air sign. This is just a general overview. But they are somebody who really orients towards the air energy, intelligent, works with their mind. I'm just getting accountant for some people. It's an accountant. And so I feel as though at first you have to take some risks, Aries, especially emotionally with other people. But if you play your cards right, sorry for the pun, but if you're conservative, this is so full circle. If you're conservative and if you see your value, and if you don't sort of let people do with it whatever they want, then I think you're going to see some positive outcomes. If you're not afraid to be alone for a minute, then you're leaving your room in your life for an air sign to come in, or somebody who's like the Knight of Swords. And if you're willing to show your partner that they can't have a one-way street relationship with you, you might see that partner turn around and be generous with you. So it's all very nice energy. The next messages are for the next row. Then we have the Magician, which is Mercury. And again, I feel like for you, the very strong 3rd house energy through the North Node with Aldebaran through July and into August. So be careful of the things you say, what comes out of your mouth. Whether somebody hears it or not, be very, very careful of the way you talk to other people, the way you describe yourself and others, and the way you talk to other people. These are definitive things that will radiate on a magical level. I don't know if you believe in magic or not, manifestation and so forth. But by talking the talk, you're bringing into reality some things. And so you want to make sure that you recognize that there's a lot of room for you to do that at this time, which means that a lot of things you say will have some kind of outcome. A lot of things you say will materialize into something concrete. So if you keep on telling yourself and telling others, my boyfriend sucks, I want to break up, it may not happen the first time or the first 100 times, but if you keep saying that, you're bringing yourself closer to a breakup. So that doesn't mean don't talk about your problems, but at this time, it's like an energy shift. So if you're telling people like, I'm happy and healthy and, good things are coming to me, if you consistently repeat that, excuse me, then I think that that's going to bring around good things for you at this time. Sorry. And then we have I'm not going to turn off this reading because it's a really good one. 10 of Wands. Okay. And then let's see the next cards. Very, very busy. I think you're taking on a lot of responsibility somehow, maybe at work or maybe in the decisions you're making. You're calling a lot of shots and you'll be kind of taking on the responsibility for what you're deciding. And then we have the 4 of Cups. This is Moon in Cancer. Let's see what else we have. And then we have Leo Strength as the last card. This is like, I was going to tell you like, Leo, there we go. Leo's so great. And I think I did in the astrology. But I think that, this is maybe your passion. If you act too passionately without having restraint and resistance at this time, I think it's going to push you in directions you don't want to be. So I think that live passionately, stand up for yourself and be kind of virtuous and heroic at times, but use your wisdom and discernment and be also conservative with that energy. I feel as though, yes, so big message for some of you are making huge decisions about your life. And by making those decisions, you're putting things on your shoulders, responsibilities. And then also, I think you're being quite bold in your life in general with other people that you meet at work or in social gatherings. I think that this is a time in which a lot of people will really see your confidence and those kinds of things. Chiron is going retrograde on the 15th of July. And so it will be retrograde for several months, I think 5 months altogether. I didn't really check. Sorry, I forgot. I did check and I forgot. But I think that Chiron in Aries, it's at about 13 degrees of your sign, it makes Aries in general self-conscious, sun, moon, and rising. It brings doubt into you. It makes you doubt the I am. And so there's circumstances to validate that will come up through this transit that will make you question your confidence. So when when Chiron goes retrograde, then I think that with that retrograde feature, then you'll come back into yourself a bit more with the lessons you've learned in the last few months while it was direct. And so you push again forward. But I think also mindful and being aware that Chiron's about to go direct in several months and you don't want to step on people's toes. That's a huge message here. I have a feeling that there's a group of friends or social relationships that are a factor in your life at this time. I don't think you know where you stand with them. It might be a group of people that ask you to spend time with them. And especially I sense either through your partner, so they're your friends, your partner's friends, and you sort of spend time with them, but you're not sure about them. Or if you're single, you're sort of going out with this new group of people. They seem friendly and nice, but I think that maybe you feel like you're different than them. You don't feel like you're one of them. And so they reach out to you, but I think that I think you'll have fun, but I think that also don't rush and force yourself into relationships with anyone. I think the right people will start coming in. This Knight of Swords, for example, I think that they'll just show up and you won't have questions about them. And I think that these people are very nice. I just think they're not your type of people. Somehow, maybe you like to hike on Saturdays and they drink on Friday nights, so none of them are available for hiking. Maybe something like that. There's a disequilibrium between you and them, and I think you sense it, and I don't think they do. So they're welcoming, inviting, but you already know that there's a difference between you and them. And so, be cordial and nice and accept their generosity, but I think that you shouldn't put the pressure on yourself to interact with them or force yourself into contact with them beyond whatever you need to do at work or through your partner. Then we have the Lovers. This is Gemini energy, change and transformation. Communications. I feel as though many of you are shifting to a much more one-on-one dynamic too. So there's this, I think that there's like people around, but I think either you're alone a lot to be successful, or things are whittling down to just one person, like one-on-one relationships become your focal point. And I think that that's a step that you're really trying to take at this time. And sometimes that means, like, before it's all happening, you'll experience walking away from certain groups of people and situations. Then we have the Last Judgment, one of my favorite cards. I think you need to go through the steps of having an experience. The thing that you're taking responsibility on your shoulders for, and it's a lot of work, and I think that it's going to help you to make a decision about some things in your life. And I think that the responsibility has to do with your character, or it has something to do with the way you've promised yourself to be to others. So if you didn't do it, you would feel guilty. If you didn't do it, you would not have examples to stand by. Like you can say that you're a good person, but until you can think of things that you've done that are good, it's only words. So in some way, this hard work, this decision, putting your money where your mouth is sort of thing, is leading to good things. And I think that the Judgment here actually also means very good karma. I think that maybe some of you, like in your environment, there will be pressure on you to not be so serious about the things you've promised. Oh, take a week off. Oh, go somewhere else. But I don't think you should do that. I think you need to stick to your guns on this one. Here is the next message. We have the Seven of Swords. I think that you're wary of someone who has walked away from you in the past. I think you're wary. That's what it is. In this social situation, you might know somebody who was flaky, and so I think you're wary of the people you're interacting with, because they're very like happy and engaging people, I can tell, but they're also like not self-aware. So they'll like say all these beautiful things and like have a good time and be super fun and affectionate. When you see someone and they're like, hey, like in this loving, and yeah, let's catch up soon, and you never hear from them again. When you see them the next time, it's like, you make promises that you don't intend to keep. That sort of frequency. So you're around someone or some people, this group of people that you entrust. That again, the message is over and over again that you should not doubt your discernment about others, and don't fold, like in poker, right? Like don't sort of give up, because and like don't settle for lower quality relationships, because they're not if you know them to not be trustworthy, and you need trust in your life, in your relationships, because some people don't care. But I think that here you're looking for more meaning, and I think you're off put by the fact that these people don't necessarily, they're not very trustworthy. So Queen of Wands, I see, so basically, in other words, I think you have a lot going for you, Aries. And I've seen your chart for the last few years, and especially the last few months. And I feel like you have a lot going for you, and you don't want to sacrifice that. You don't want to stand up for yourself. Don't shortchange yourself, and especially around friends. You might be feeling, for those of you who are single, you might be feeling a bit lonely through this because you're still waiting for your person to really come in and become a solid staple in your life. Get distracted. Go do yoga, go for walks, go paint your car. I don't know. Just go do something so that you wait patiently as this relationship develops and as you figure these things out with other people. They still may be very wonderful friends for you to connect with, whoever they are, right? Go out somewhere, a friend to go to the movies with, whatever else. And then we have the Hierophant, which is Taurus, okay? And so I think you have something ahead of you. I just had a download, Aries. Some of you are in university, and especially someone's at like PhD level university. You're meant to become a teacher, and around you is the college crowd. So if you've been in uni, you know this, university. There's a lot of people that are not there to stay, and they're sort of running around and having a good time and not paying attention. You're going to step into something, and you're working on something, and you're going to come as an authority on something. So don't worry about their happenings, what they're doing. They're going to have their lives. They're on their own path in their own direction. Likewise, in work, you might feel like people around you are not paying attention to things, not too serious, while you feel the pressure to be that way and to be focused. You have some really good transits for success and for like just making it in terms of work. So keep plugging along. I've been telling you this for 2 years. And these transits are on the closing side of them. So before we were talking about them, they were just starting. Now we're finishing up these transits. So you don't have that much time to like keep going. So you do that. On the bottom is the Queen of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. There's a water energy in that card too. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Doesn't have to be a woman, doesn't have to be those signs, but that's just a general perspective. This is a Queen of Pentacles is all about boundaries. This is all personal boundaries. You have something wonderful about you, Aries. You don't want to jeopardize that. And so I think that these cards are saying you're on a good path. You're self-doubting. You're taking on a lot of responsibilities without really knowing where it's going to lead to, which leads to some self-doubt, you know, because you want to go have fun too. You want to, but just something in you says that it's going to be different for you. So be patient. Let the relationships come in. Let them develop. Develop yourself. Whatever you're working towards, it's worth it. So just keep hustling. Keep your boundaries up. Queen of Pentacles. That's you right now. So we have, let's see what signs are important for you through this time. We have Scorpio and Pisces. So speaking of water signs, maybe some water signs are around to help you boost your confidence with that. One thing about actually Scorpio and Pisces is that they're people of very strict personal boundaries. You can't get them to do things that are not good for them unless they're in a really unhealthy state. So Pisces won't tell you about it. They'll just make sure that they're not doing what they don't want to be doing. And Scorpio will just flat out say no. They don't have a problem with saying no at all. So I feel like it's all about this discernment. And I know this is a love reading, but I think this is preparing you for something. It's like, don't squander it on half-assed people. Don't squander it on a half-assed time when you're supposed to be kind of clearing your life and getting ready for these big opportunities that are going to be the outcome of your efforts at this time. I also think that you need to finalize something in your life. Whatever you're doing, there's something that you have to work through and finish up. So that's going to be a priority in the next 6 months. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and thank you for waiting for the reading. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to make the energy real. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.